Hi, I'm Shaul. Maybe I should start with a bit of history. The first big challenge of digital photography was to equal the output of film photography, especially slide film. Now, by 2007, 2008, the best digital cameras already surpassed this quality of output. Of course, technology did not stop there. Camera manufacturers had to keep improving the cameras in order to keep the competition going and selling new cameras. So the easiest thing to do was to divide the area of the imaging sensor into more and more squares, because photo sites became more efficient at that time. Manufacturing became more efficient and cheaper. So resolution kept going up. Was there a real need for that? I don't think so. There were a lot of trials made in cinema. They took many people and put them in a cinema theater and let them choose, the seating position. And a vast majority of people preferred sitting at a distance that is about twice the width of the big screen, in the cinema center. It turns out that in order to view the whole screen in the relatively narrow, sharp area of our eyes' field of view, you need to sit quite far from the image. And at that image, at that distance, you can discern about 2,700 positions across the width of the image. So no matter how big the image is, or how big you print in photography terms, you will need about 2,700 pixels across the width of the image, which in resolution terms is about 5 megapixels. That's all. Why more than this? Well, the answer is cropping. Manufacturers made us believe that you can replace an appropriate lens by cropping a small section of the image area and enlarging it. So that was the justification for increasing resolution. Now, by the time full-frame sensor resolution surpassed about 20 megapixels, I knew there was a problem. Because when you looked closely at the images made at the pixel level, you could start seeing the limitations of the lenses. There was a clear lack of sharpness, of pixel sharpness, and chromatic aberration became visible. The increasing resolution started affecting lens design. That happened around 2013, I think, after the first really high resolution 36 megapixel cameras appeared on the market. Of course, there was a lot of concern about the optical performance of lenses at that time. The obvious solution was to introduce more and more extra low dispersion glass into the lenses. It's a type of low density glass that limits the dispersion of light passing through it. So the result is less chromatic aberration and an increased resolving power at the pixel level, at a very high frequency level. Now this had unwanted implications. An abrupt transition from lightness to darkness, an important cue to the perception of depth is a certain transition from darkness to lightness that lets us interpret the curvature of surfaces, which is an important cue for the correct perception of depth. Another thing was very sharp appearance of edges of surfaces in order to discern the transition between layers in real life of closer and further surfaces is a thin zone of transition between those two layers. Now, it's important to remember that our eyes are also optical devices with optical properties, and the Abbe number of our eyes, which is a representation of the light dispersion coefficient, is actually quite low. Our eyes are less sensitive to chromatic aberration than most optical glass used in lenses. But when you look at the pixel level, at a very high magnification, chromatic aberration obviously becomes noticeable. So you could say that engineers took over photography in a way. It's a lot easier to measure chromatic aberration or sharpness or distortion with a computer than to measure the perception of depth, of or 3D, or qualities of the transition from sharpness to unsharpness in an image. It's not something that you can easily do by computer. A bit about dirty photography. This is what this channel is called. Dirty photography is purpose-driven photography that is guided by what is needed to achieve a certain result, instead of what is possible. See, it's an important distinction. For example, my preferred genre is shooting people in seriously poor light conditions. The only thing that matters to me is authenticity, because this type of photography is documentary. I don't care about absolute sharpness or dynamic range or some grit and noise in the image, because it's something that the viewer is expecting from photographs taken in low light. When you see a gritty picture, you know, with some motion blurring, with low dynamic range, you understand the importance of the moment. It's much more important than making the image smooth or sharp. There's a sense of urgency in those flows. Of course, in other genres, priorities are different. But my point is that for each genre there is a result that is required, and you have to respect the factors that will bring you closer to the result you want, but you can neglect all other factors, all other technical aspects of photography. A second realization is that the camera is basically only a dark chamber that is used to mount the optics, which are the true image-making devices. The camera should be as neutral as possible, like cameras used to be in the film era. Now, of course, this is not true. The camera fulfills many more purposes. They have many more functions, like converting the analog output of the optics into digital output, and doing so there is a lot of processing involved, and I'm not ignoring that, but the optics are still the most important part of photography, I feel. The whole purpose of this channel was to set on a mission to select the best performing optics, the best lenses that can convey a natural feeling image. Lenses with optical properties similar to the optical properties of our own eyes, that make perhaps more authentic images. It's like they say, music out of all the art forms is the most direct, because it penetrates the brain without much need for interpretation, for processing. So good imaging is the same. Good photographs are readily understood. I will start going through my best rendering lenses. There are a lot of them, so I will not show you every lens, but only the ones I like for my purposes. You don't have to agree, of course. I'll show you an example or two taken by some of those lenses in real life, so you can see what I mean. I will divide the lenses by focal length categories, starting with the widest and going longer and longer. This is a different story. It's a focal length I find very useful, because it's wide, it can include a lot of content, big scenes full of details, but then it's not really a distorting focal length. You don't get the corners to not stretch. So it's a very good, useful wide angle focal length. I have a lot of 28mm lenses. The Sigma 28mm art f1.4, well, you can probably guess, is a flat lens, very sharp, like all other Sigma art lenses, but not very good for my genre, for the photography of people. It's just too flat, too dead, if you know what I mean. And no matter how much I kick it, it doesn't wake up. Then there is the Nikon 28mm f1.8G. It's a lens I would call decent. It's really high contrast, but its 3D pop is not always there. Not one of the best Nikons for that purpose. Then there is the Nikon 28mm f1.4e, which is a relatively new F-mount lens, one of the latest F-mount lenses made by Nikon, which is filming right now. You can see it has a good 3D rendition. It's, I must say, all the f1.4 G and E series lenses that I own have a rather consistent rendering, which is pleasing. It's not the best 3D pop rendition, but depth is there, and it's quite good. They're all f1.4, so they excel in low light, and you can have them for a really good price these days. Okay. Now, two very good rendering lenses. The first is the Falklander Ultron 28mm f2, which is really small. It's a lovely lens. It's sharp, but not too sharp. It's lively. It's consistent. A lens I really like, but the thing is, it's f2, and for my purposes, I would prefer something larger. So I've got this one. This is the new Thypoc 28mm f1.4 Leica M mount. This is a really special lens. It's 3D pop is always there, no matter what the lighting conditions are, no matter the subject distance. It's the king of 3D pop, really an exquisite performer. The only, well, you could call it an issue, but it's a very warm lens. I personally like it, but it's distinctively warm, and might be an issue for others. But out of all the lenses I own, this one has the best rendering, I think. Another option at 28mm is this one. This is the Nikon 28-105 D lens. It's a lens from the late 90s that is very surprising. Its rendition is truly poppy. It's even more poppy than many Nikon D-style primes. And it's a truly cheap lens. It's not very fast. It's f3.5 to f4.5, but it's one of the best daylight lenses that I've seen.